So, 25 years of Pokemon has given me 25 wonderful memories that I can go through. Even though I stopped playing Pokemon in my high school years, which was, I would say, 2001 to 2004, I stopped playing Pokemon. I still played Pokemon my freshman year of high school, but that was during Gen 2. And so I didn't play Gen 3, not right away. It wasn't until my first year of college where I actually got back into Pokemon. And I got back into Pokemon because of my best friend at the time. His name is Brandon. And I found out that he still played Pokemon. And I didn't know he still played Pokemon. And I was like, dude, you play Pokemon? He's like, yeah, I still play. I was like, huh. Is it still good? I didn't know how to react to that. He's like, yeah, I mean they're on a new generation, that's Ruby and Sapphire. I was like, oh yeah, I knew about Ruby and Sapphire. And he's like, oh, but they have two new games that are coming out. I was like, oh, they do? He's like, yeah. It's actually remakes. And I was like, remakes? He's like, yeah. You'll actually really want to play these. I was like, I'll really want to play it? Yeah. And he was talking about Fire Red and Leaf Green. So I was like, okay. So the day that these came out, him and I went to Walmart because the Walmart was 24 hours. And we went to Walmart. And at midnight, I bought Fire Red and he bought Leaf Green. And we played the living hell out of these games. I think in this game I have, I want to say somewhere around 200 plus hours in this one. And we used to battle each other all the time. His younger brother was into Pokemon too. And so his younger brother had Emerald. Eventually I bought Pokemon Emerald because I wanted to see what I missed for Ruby and Sapphire. And I honestly didn't really like the Hoenn region. Like, I felt there was just too much water. And funny enough, that's a complaint that carries on over, for me anyways. It carries on over to Zelda Wind Waker because there's too much water. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess maybe because I'm a fire person, considering how I have Fire Red and my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Red. That must be it. And my favorite Pokemon is Charmander, Charizard, and my second favorite is Vulpix, followed by Cyndaquil, and then Blaziken. So it's, I guess maybe because I've always been a fire trainer at heart, so it's like I didn't like Hoenn because it was all water. Even though Hoenn, don't get me wrong, Hoenn gave us a lot of really good Pokemon, like Salamence, for example. Salamence was freaking fantastic. Or is it Milotic? I always forget how to pronounce it. Milotic, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza. Like, they gave us a lot of good Pokemon, a lot of memorable Pokemon, but the region itself, I didn't like it. What we ended up doing, and Deoxys. Deoxys was a very interesting Pokemon at the time. That was the first Pokemon that legitimately had different forms. And I know there's Ditto, but I'm not talking about Ditto. A Ditto can transform into any other Pokemon. That doesn't necessarily mean it has different forms. Deoxys, though, had legitimate different forms that were not evolutions. Depending on what, I think it was what you put on Deoxys for an item, or I don't remember. It's been a while. Or maybe it was based on his stats. I think it was based on his stats. He would change into the different types of Deoxys. You had the base model Deoxys, You had the base Deoxys. You had the speed Deoxys. You had a special Deoxys. You had a physical Deoxys. It was really cool. I really, really thought that was one of the best mechanics in the game, because then it can completely change the way that things played out. So eventually, like I said, I bought Emerald. What we used my Emerald for, my friend Brandon got a Game Shark. And basically, at that time, you couldn't go to, or not that you couldn't go to, there weren't any special events that were going on anymore for Ruby, Sapphire, or Emerald. So what we did was we used the Game Shark to be able to unlock at the island to go get Deoxys, or like for other of the special Pokemon such as Jirachi. Oh, I love Jirachi. Jirachi and Celebi from Gen 2. Celebi was fantastic, but I don't know what it is. I really like Jirachi, probably because he's immune to poison since he's Steel type. But anyways, so we used the Game Shark. Actually, it was the Action Replay. We used the Action Replay to be able to get the Pokemon that we couldn't get because they weren't giving them away. And so we had put the Pokemon into these games. Now in my Fire Red, they're no longer in here. But that's because I've transferred them into my Pokemon Pearl, and then I transferred it into my Pokemon Black, and then eventually into my Pokemon X. But we'll get into those games later. So my first year of college then became like my resurgence, my renaissance of Pokemon. And man, I had so much fun. Like I was building new teams with Pokemon that I didn't know about at the time, because I skipped the 3rd gen. This is 3rd generation, by the way. I had skipped 3rd generation, so I was like, all these Pokemon were new to me. Instead of relying on the Pokemon that I was so used to from Red, Blue, Gold, and Silver, I now had access to a completely new generation of Pokemon, as well as the ones that I loved playing before. And so I took this game and I got to make brand new teams. I got to train Pokemon in different ways that weren't available in this either. With Pokemon or with 3rd gen Pokemon, we now had EV points, which were not the Pokemon EV, but evolution points. I don't remember what the EV actually is. Evolutionary values, I think it's called, or effort values. I'm sorry, not evolution value, effort values. Basically, you fight a certain Pokemon over and over and over again. It gives you a specific effort value, which gets added onto the stat of your Pokemon. So now there was new ways to train your Pokemon. So if you wanted to make your Charizard faster, you go and you fight a Pokemon that gives you the specific effort values, and you go and you fight them over and over and over again to be able to raise up that specific stat. Yes, there were also still the candies that you would give to the Pokemon to raise up the stats, but those were limited to only raising up a certain amount. For everything else, you had to actually use the effort values to be able to do it. So that it added a lot more strategy to the game, which I just found so intriguing. It made it competitive, which wasn't something that you could do here in the original games in Red, Blue, Gold, and Silver. You couldn't raise your Pokemon like that. Yes, your Pokemon could potentially start with different starting stats or starting variables in their stats, but that was just their IV points, which was, I think, is inherited values. Those inherited values still carried over to 3rd gen, but now in 3rd gen we had the effort values. So with these new ways to raise your Pokemon, I remember, like, my friend, his favorite Pokemon at the time were Venusaur and Salamence. I remember him making a Salamence that the speed was maxed out, as well as the attack with Dragon Dance, and his Venusaur was super tanky. Gen 3 also brought the introduction of what is it? Secondary abilities, or not secondary abilities. Oh man, I can't think of it at the top of my head. Correct me in the comment section if you remember what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about their traits like modest, timid, jolly, anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about their the special traits, like, for example, later on you could have a Vulpix and Ninetales with permanent sunny day, things like that. Drought. These were abilities that would activate at the beginning of battle, or in some cases they would activate at a specific moment during combat. So all of this combined just added for just new forms of gameplay that would go on to become staples in competitive play for a very long time. And all of this, all of these mechanics that I learned, and I sat down and I just hammered down over and over and over again to learn how to raise my Pokemon right, learn how to crossbreed Pokemon so I get specific moves on specific Pokemon that you could only get by breeding them, such as a Ninetales with Energy Ball so you can take out water Pokemon, or Charizard with Dragon Dance. Like, there's only specific ways to be able to do that through breeding, and I learned and memorized all of these things so that way I can just steamroll my friends. and granted, we're in college at this point. Like, I'm 18, 19 years old. We're playing Pokemon, and I'm playing Pokemon again for the first time since 2001. So now this was 2004, 2005, and I think these came out in 2005, so it must have been 2005. And so, you know, it was just something else. And it all led up to 4th gen, Diamond and Pearl, and the age of the internet. At least the age of the internet for Pokemon, which we're gonna have to get to in another video because we're out of time on this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below with your memories for Pokemon, and I will see you guys in the next video.